my days and just pray. Guarantee we can change the world. Because prayer changes things. Check it out.
Lord, can you hear me? I'm in desperate need. I'm right here crying out, pushing past the doubt. Lord, please send a sign. I don't have much time. Let me know you're near. Let me know you hear. My 60-second prayer is shaking the heavens. My 60-second prayer is bringing me peace. My 60-second prayer is giving me joy. Pray, pray, pray. My 60-second prayer is shaking the heavens. My 60-second prayer is bringing me wealth. My 60-second prayer is giving me strength. Pray, pray, pray. I just need a minute, one with you in it. We'll make the difference. Why don't they get it? Let's change the atmosphere. Let's move aside the fear. We know prayer changes things. When I pray, it takes wings. Shaking the heavens. My 60-second prayer is bringing me peace. My 60-second prayer is giving me joy. Pray, pray, pray. My 60-second prayer is shaking the heavens. My 60-second prayer is bringing me wealth. My 60-second prayer is giving me strength. Pray, pray, pray. Hearken unto the voice of my cry. My God, my King, oh, hear me when I call. My God, when I pray. My 60-second prayer is shaking the heavens. My 60-second prayer is bringing me peace. My 60-second prayer is giving me joy. Pray, pray. 60-second prayer is shaking the heavens. My 60-second prayer is bringing me wealth. My 60-second prayer is giving me strength. Pray, pray. My 60-second prayer is shaking the heavens. My 60-second prayer is bringing me peace. My 60-second prayer is giving me joy.
Pray this right here. 2 Chronicles 7:14. Psalm 4 and 1. Psalm 5 and 2. Psalm 32 and 6, y'all. This has been a Jefferson production. Along with me, the music major. If you take 60 seconds out of each hour and just pray, guess what, y'all? We're gonna change the world.
I want to give a special message to all the mothers out there on this Mother's Day, that never give up. We all mothers, doesn't matter what nationality you are, doesn't matter what color your skin is. We all go through the same, not this one may go through this one, but we all shed some tears. And sometimes we have to cry and release what we're going through. So today, I just want to encourage you and tell you that never give up. God gave me that song, and he said, if you never give up, I'll always bless you and I'll bring you out. And I'm telling you today, never give up. Maybe you're not appreciated like you feel like you should be, but hey, God sees everything you do. Never give up on your love and your kindness that you're showing towards your family and others. Never give up. On this Mother's Day, I want to tell you, you can make it. You appreciate it because God appreciates you and he sees what you do. On this Sunday, Mother's Day, I say, Happy Mother's Day. And God bless you, and I love you.
God bless all of you this day, that God bless you. I'm blessing the mothers that God has blessed. If you're a mother, you're blessed. All through the Bible, mothers was blessed. Hannah and all the rest of them. Hannah had the first prophet. The first prophet. She had the first prophet. And all through the Bible, from Mary to all of them, we just greet you. Tell somebody, say he's on. Come on and see what he got to say today. And I believe that you're going to enjoy it too. I just like coming into your home, living rooms and things, and seeing what God is doing for you. God is already working on your behalf. Don't worry about what's going on around the world or in the world. Just think about God. God has blessed you. You're still living on planet Earth. And all you mothers that had children, that means that God's blessed you. Back in the Old Testament, if women did not have children, it was kind of been a curse to them. That's why Rachel had 2, and her maids had the other children. But if you're a mother, rejoice in God, because God has made you a mother. I want to talk to you about some things today, what mothers does and what fathers does and what everybody does towards Christ. The first thing, here's the key to it. Your heart has to be right towards him. If your heart is not right towards him, you cannot serve him. I'm glad you asked. When I say serve him, I'm saying you cannot serve him with the wrong type of heart. See, a lot of you are trying to ask God, how is it you're doing this and doing that and can't stop it? Because you don't have the right heart towards him. In the Bible, in Romans the 15th chapter, about the second and third verse, 14 and 15, Romans 10, 14 and 15 rather, the writer said that the Gentiles who don't have the law are a law to themselves. Their conscience, the meanwhile, are accusing or excusing one another. And what it means by that, if you're doing wrong, your conscience do not condemn you or do not accuse you, then that means something's wrong with you. When you do wrong, your conscience should accuse you. And notice it say, don't do that. Don't do this here. That's why 2 John 3 and 9 says that therefore they cannot sin because they are born of God. So when you look at the scriptures, your conscience either excuse you or accuse you. Now you're safe when your conscience accuse you. Watch this here. Let's read that real quick. Let's get Romans the 10th chapter, and let's get into read to the 14th verse from it real quick.
Romans 10 and 14. How then shall they call on him in whom they had not believed? And how shall they believe on him on whom they have not heard?
Read it.
And how shall they hear without a preacher?
First of all, without the right type of preacher, you can't hear in the first place. When I say the right type, somebody's going to tell you the truth. Going to let you know that what you're doing is wrong. If they don't do that, God didn't send them. Read from it, son. Go ahead.
And it says, and how should they preach except they be sent?
Go ahead.
As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach of the gospel of peace, and bring glad tidings of good things.
Now, first of all, you can't preach except you be sent. If you're not sent, you cannot preach, no matter who you are. Now, I've had people ask me, said, Bishop Jefferson, why did I keep going through the same thing over and over again? And I tell them in a minute, it's because you're not delivered. It's one thing to abstain from something. It's another thing to be delivered from something. When you deliver from something, it no longer bothers you. You don't lay in the bed and ask questions about how you're going to come out of this here. You're already out of it. When you see what God is doing, God's always had a way out. I say he's always had a way out. And this way out is always doing right. Give me real quick a Romans 2 and 14 from real quick. See, remember now, you are the one that have to fight the good fight of faith. If you don't fight, then you can't live. You got to fight, and fight. Fight till he come back here. What I mean by fight, you got to make up your mind, I'm not going to be defeated. God don't get defeated. The writer says in Luke, the 10th chapter, 19th verse, that we can overcome every unclean spirit and every devil. The writer wrote and told us that nothing can touch us. Read from it, son.
Romans 2:14.
Read it.
For when the Gentiles, which have not the law.
Now, the Gentiles mean the unsaved folks, which don't have the law. They don't have nothing to do with God. The unsaved people don't at all, period. They don't even have the law. Go ahead.
Do by nature the things contained in the law.
In other words, in you, before you were even saved, if you're saved now, there was something in you that told you, I don't have to do certain things. Something told you inside it, which is God. By nature, we supposed to live towards God. By nature, we have that spirit in us to do what's right. Even the unsaved, see, even when I wasn't saved, I knew what I was doing was wrong. You follow me? But because I was unsaved, I did not get convicted of it. You follow me? So some of you are doing wrong with no conviction. I feel sorry for you. If your mind do not get convicted, that means you probably won't get to heaven. Read from it.
These having not the law are a law unto themselves.
In other words, the unsaved folk don't have the law, but the law is in them of right and wrong. That's why the writer said, sin and death. The law had sin and death. If you sin, death follows it. But thank God for Jesus Christ, you ain't got to sin no more. Read from it, son.
Which shew the work of the law written in their heart.
In other words, there's a law in you that says, I'm just not going to do it. There's a law in you that says, I just can't do that anymore. I'm tired of it. Some of you are staying with men you're not married to. Some of you are staying with women you're not married to, and it don't convict you no more. When you first did that, it bothered you. It should bother you in light of what's going on around the world now. It should bother you. If you got to stay with somebody, marry them. Make it legal. Let God bless your house. Let him bless your children. And I get into people's business because God get into your business. And God give you the word of God to tell the truth. A lot of folks won't tell the truth. But in reality, when you do things like that, you can get in trouble with God. I don't want to see you in trouble with God. I did things like that. And it's very, very dangerous. So you see, the Gentiles don't even have the law. But in their heart, they know right from wrong. But go ahead, son.
Their thoughts, the meanwhile, excusing one another.
If your thoughts accuse you, you can make it. But if your thoughts excuse you, you got a problem. If you can lie, backbite, commit adultery, fornicate, bribe somebody, or deceive somebody, you will not make heaven. Trust me, you will not make heaven. These spirits did not come from God. These spirits come from the other one, which is the enemy. And the enemy wants you to believe you do all these things and go to sleep. And I say, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray to allow my soul to keep. And sin, your soul is not being kept. In God, your soul is being kept. Listen to Bishop Jefferson. It's time now. Take off your false face. Halloween is over. I said, Halloween is over. Get yourself in line with God. The unsaved folks that don't even have God's law don't do some of the things the so-called saved people do. Romans, the 1st chapter, 2 Peter 2, Jude, the 1st chapter, all these were so-called saved people at one time. And these folks backslid on God. You see, because you saved today, you S-A-V-E, not E-D. You can backslide by committing sin. A little leaven can leaven the whole lump. Don't let the enemy pull you into anything that can take you out of God. You don't want to do that. Make your mind up. If this man can't marry me, this woman wants me to marry her, I'm not going to do this no more. I'm going to keep myself pure for God. I want God to bless me. I don't want the death angel to come towards my house. I want him to bless me, and God will bless you. Watch this here. In Romans, the 1st chapter, the 18th verse,
Read it for me.
Romans 1:18.
Read it.
For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness.
Now watch here now. All ungodliness means everything you do that's not godly, the wrath of God is revealed from heaven behind it because you're doing wrong. Watch this here now. Watch here now. Galatians 5:19. You see, there are certain works in your life that take you out of God, that take you to hell if you're not careful. And these things works in the flesh, not in your spirit. Read for me.
Galatians 5:19.
Go ahead.
Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these. Adultery.
Now, first of all, adultery. Some of you are married and having affairs that you should not have. You should get yourself together and say, this is not my wife. This is not my husband. I'm not going to do that no more. Now, you think it's hard to do. What's harder, going to hell or going to heaven? I think you get my drift. Don't let the enemy destroy you. See, what happened, your flesh rises up, and you don't want that mate no more. You don't want that mate no more because now you think you found something better. But the enemy has tricked you. He's put something in your heart that God didn't put in your heart. So when you commit adultery, or when you fornicate, these things is sin from the flesh. Read for me.
Fornication.
Now, fornication is somebody that a man who don't have a wife or whatever the case may be, you know the story, and you're going around with different women or a woman going with different men, this is fornication. Now, these are the work for the flesh. Read from it. Go ahead.
Uncleanness.
Go ahead.
Lasciviousness.
In other words, uncleanness, all these are works of your flesh. It's not the works from God. God is different from that. God has another agenda for you. Pastor Calvin gave me Philippians 4:8. See, watch it here now. The works of the flesh and the works of God is opposite. One is in the dark, one's in the light. Read for me.
Philippians.
Go ahead, Pastor Calvin.
Philippians 4:8.
Go ahead.
Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true.
In other words, things that's true, honest, just, pure, lovely, of a good report, virtue, praise. Think on these things, and you won't do certain things anymore. You can't do them no more. Because your mind, your heart, and spirit is wrapped up, tied up, tangled in God. Now listen very carefully now. In light of what's going on here now, be careful what you do because God's watching what you do. God has sent an angel to this earth, and the angel's name is Corona. That is not the devil. That is not a disease. That's God personally. He put on earth so people can stop committing sin. Everything God does for a reason. And this reason is saying, I want the whole world to stop. Watch this here. Romans 3 right quick. And about beginning 16th verse. I want everybody to be guilty before me. He shut down the whole world. All he's saying is that do right towards me. And I'll read from it.
Romans 3:16.
Go ahead.
Destruction and misery are in their ways.
Go ahead.
And the way of peace have they not known.
Go ahead, son.
There is no fear of God before their eyes.
In other words, you don't fear God no kind of way. You do these things, you stay with these folks for 10 and 12 and 15 years, and after a while, your conscience is like a timing chain on a car. A timing chain has little hooks in it that catch the chain and it carries it around and around and around. When that thing wear down, you go, but it will not crank. Your mind's not cranking anymore. Your mind's got so corrupt. You call good bad and bad good. Read, Pastor Calvin.
Romans 3:19 continues.
Go ahead.
Now we know that what things soever the law said, it said to them who are under the law.
The law is called sin and death. That's the law. You sin, you die. You sin, you die. Go ahead, son.
That every mouth may be stopped. And all the world may become guilty before God.
Everybody is guilty before God. Everybody. Overseer, get me in the 11th chapter of Exodus real quick. You see, when everything stopped, the people has stopped.
God has stopped the whole world. And the world's in turmoil. Listen to me, all of you. It is not what you think it is. It is God doing it. I remember at 25 years old in Dallas, Texas, I had an experience with death. Like Paul, whether in it, out about it, I cannot tell. But when I was dying on that bed, and my mouth opened up, and the doctor said, "He's gone. He's gone." The voice opened up and said, "And what you think it is, you better get right. Get right. I'm coming back. I'm Jesus." I knew nothing about Jesus Christ. I had just come out of Vietnam. I was 25 years old. And the doctors looked at me. And I remember saying, "What's coming out of me? Who's talking out of me?" God's talking now. You just don't hear him. You don't hear what he's saying. He's saying, "I stopped the world to give you a chance to do what's right." Some of you have been asking God for a long time to help me to do what's right. Now it's time to do what's right. It's time to take this opportunity while you're home to get in your prayer closet, to get it in your spirit. I'm going to serve the Lord. In the book of Joshua, the 24th chapter, the 14th to 15th verse, Joshua said, "Choose who you're going to serve. The Amalekites or whoever. Choose who you're going to serve. Serve my flesh, serve money, serve houses, or serve cars. As for me and my house, we'll serve the Lord." Make up your mind, I'm going to serve the Lord because the Lord is the only one that sustains me. God got a mission for each and everybody. Read from it here.
Exodus 11:1.
Now watch this here now. Understand something. During the time of Egypt, God shut down just Egypt. He didn't shut down the whole world. That's why the world could come to Egypt and get food. God shut this whole world down. All he's saying, I'm giving you a chance to think about it. I'm giving you a chance to think what you've been doing. You've been so busy and hustling and bustling in your jobs, and you ain't had a chance. I shut the bars down. I shut the beer stores down. I shut the stores down. I shut everything down and said, "Serve me or die. Serve me. Quit serving yourself and serve me." So God tells Moses about midnight. I'm going to come down about midnight. Get in your houses. Get in the house and shut the door. I'm going to put the blood on the doorposts and on the doors. He's saying the same thing now. Only he's saying, I shut the whole world down, that every mouth may stop and give me the praise. Read from it, son. 11:3, right quick.
Verse 3.
Go ahead.
And the Lord gave the people favor.
Read it.
In the sight of the Egyptian.
Now, the God gave the folks favor that the people want to get rid of them so bad after all that after the hail hit them and after the blood in the sea, that the people gave them favor and gave them everything they wanted because they want them to leave. Let me tell you something. God got a way. I'm telling you right now, I want you to live right. Go ahead, son, read for me.
Moreover, the man Moses was very great.
Read it.
In the land of Egypt. In the sight of Pharaoh's servant. And in the sight of the people. Now
notice something. The Pharaoh's servant recognized Moses. They recognized him because of what God has put in him. God's trying to make you recognize that he's the one that blesses all of us. Nobody can bless except God bless. God's got to bless and keep on blessing. When you keep on blessing, then you'll find out something. You'll stop messing. You'll stop messing around with everything that's not right because God's got a purpose for everything he do. Jump down to the 12th verse for me real quick and read for me. Now watch this here now. Now, understand this here. You just listen to me, you're supposed to hear what I'm saying. Go ahead, son. 12th verse, 11 and 12. Now, watch here now. Everybody here that's listening to me in here, on whatever you are, God got you listening because he wants you to understand something. It is not
what you think it is. It is not what they say it is. The virus is not a virus, it's an angel, and his name Corona. Read for me.
Exodus 12 and 12.
Go ahead.
For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night.
Go ahead.
And will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt.
Now look at the word I will. God will. I will pass through the land this night and smite all the firstborn of Egypt. I'm going to kill them. Not the devil. That was God coming through them. People fail to realize something. In Revelation, the angels coming down during the tribulation time. They're coming down and stop the whole world. Stop the wind. Go ahead, son.
And will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast.
Go ahead.
And against all the gods of Egypt, I will execute judgment.
In other words, he's judging. He's judging. The whole world is being judged by God. The whole world is stood still. Wall Street is frantic. The bankers are going crazy because they know now that everything that's happening, somebody has did it. They want to believe it's the virus. God is not a virus. God is God all by himself. The virus was sent by God because the virus has a name called Corona. You call them 19 all you want to, but more than 19 people done died. You can believe that though. Call him what you want to call him. He is executing judgment upon the people because the people didn't do what was right towards God. Nobody kills but God. Viruses don't kill. Car wrecks don't kill. Trains don't. God kills people. God kills them. You can't break Hebrews 9 and 27. It's appointed once unto man to die. After this, the judgment. God is judging people. Get your houses in order. Do right towards God. Tell your family it's time to pray. It's time to pray. It's time to go into my closet and let God bless me. It's time to let everything go that don't belong to God. I'm begging you. God is not nearly about through. I prophesied this years ago that something gonna hit this earth that people could not understand. Now they got a bee somewhere. I saw it where he had a bee that's a deadly bee. Once he hits you, you're dead. Those things come from God. Y'all talk about a loving God. He is lovable. He is a good God. But he's the greatest killer I know. He killed me at 25, I know. At 25, I know. And you have to understand something. God is telling you, if you serve me, I'll do what's right. If you serve me, I'll bless you. He told Abraham in the 18th chapter of Genesis, he said, shall I hide this thing from Abraham? 3 men come down the road one day, and Abraham saw them afar off. You read it in Genesis 18. And Abraham ran to meet them. But the strangest thing, when he ran to meet them, the Bible said they were standing at his door. At his door. And they talked to Abraham. Abraham, I come down because of the sin in Sodom and Gomorrah. I'll come down to see what's going on. If it's true, I'm going to know it. If it's true, I'll know what they did. And they all, after Abraham fed them and everything, they all left. But the strangest thing, 2 went to Sodom and Gomorrah. The other one stood with Abraham. Said, shall I hide this thing from Abraham? See, they're going to be a great nation one day. Should I hide from Abraham what I'm going to do? Because Abraham is surely going to be blessed because he's going to obey me and make his children do what's right. You follow me? God knows what's in your heart. Some of you are begging to be free. I put a book out called Begging to Be Free. It was chains all around the man. You're begging to be free. Hear this message today and get yourself free. Understand something. God said Abraham was going to obey me. He going to command his children to do what's right. Abraham proceeded to say, If you find 50, will you let the city go? If you find 40, you let the city go. If you find 30, he goes all the way down to 10. And God said, if I find 10, I won't destroy the city. But he couldn't find 10 in the city. So God destroyed the city. What do you think God is doing now? I mean, unemployment is all-time high. Nobody can do that but God. Everything's happening. People think that the enemy is doing it. The devil has no power to do anything anymore. Nothing at all. Jesus Christ is Alpha and Omega, beginning and ending. He has no power anymore to do anything. God's doing this here. God is saying, it's time for my people to know who I am. Who does that? Who does that? Who shuts the whole world down but God? He shut the whole world down. In Egypt, he only shut down Egypt. He didn't shut the rest of the place down. They all came either for food. When Joseph was there, when Moses was there, he shut down all of Egypt with different plagues and going on. God is plaguing the city. He is not sitting back doing nothing. All these saying time is running out. It's time to do something with your life. That young lady, young man, old woman, get yourselves together. The Bible says, old man would dream dreams. Young man's are warriors. The time is coming now when everybody got to be a warrior. Get yourself in the love of God. Don't let the enemy destroy you. Take your children, send them in God's house, or send them in your house, and then find somebody, to preach to them and pray God that God saves them. All over the world, people's in turmoil. They don't know what to do. People are working at home. Listen very careful now. In Egypt, everybody that's going to be saved had to stay home. Had to stay home. So if you're home, you can be saved if you do what's right towards God. Listen to this message. If you're home, you got a time now to sit yourself in God's house, in your house, with your work of the Bible or whatever God gave you, and God will bless you. But make no mistake, God is not playing with anybody. It's time now that the Bible said judgment first began at the house of God. It began at us. What's that ungodly in the center up here? Who are you? What are you doing against God? When I asked that question, God showed you what you're doing. Clean up your life. Clean it up. Let God bless you. Say, Lord, I'm sorry for my sins. I'm sorry for what I did. I did wrong, but I want to make it right. And I promise you before God, God will help you do right. You ain't looking for God. God trying to find you. God ain't never been lost. Listen very carefully. Bishop, love you all, but I know what God can do. I want you to bless God's house. Say, Bishop, I enjoyed that message. I'm going to clean my life up. I'm going to send an offering in so God can bless me. Proverbs 19:17 says, he that giveth to the poor, lend it to the Lord. Whatever you've given, he's going to give it back to you. Send the offering. Bishop, I want to send $100, $200, $500. I want to send it 40, 80. I want to send it in. Why? I want God to bless me. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Listen, don't forget God's benefits. He got a benefit for you. We love you. We praise the Lord for you. Bless his holy name. God bless you. God keep you. We'll see you again in Jesus' name.
I know that God can.
And happy Mother's Day, all of you. In Jesus' name, it's done.
If we stop and take 60 seconds out of our day and just pray, guarantee we can change the world. Because prayer changes things. Check it out.
Lord, can you hear me? I'm in desperate need. I'm right here crying out, pushing past the doubt. Lord, please send a sign. I don't have much time. Let me know you're near. Let me know you hear. My 60-second prayer is shaking the heavens. My 60-second prayer is bringing me peace. My 60-second prayer is giving me joy. Pray, pray, pray. My 60-second prayer is shaking the heavens. My 60-second prayer is bringing me wealth. My 60-second prayer is giving me strength. Just need a minute, one with you in it will make the difference. Why don't they get it? Let's change the atmosphere. Let's move aside the fear. We know prayer changes things. When I pray